Hey guys, and welcome back to the Could Try Harder channel. We need to fix the spongy brakes on the Mk1 Golf this week, so that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I've got to put the suspension back together. So let's crack on. Yeah, so we got loads done this week. Putting the strut on the driver's side. Already done the passenger side in the last video. Putting the strut on the driver's side. New wishbone. I'm not going to show that because I've already showed it in the previous video. Also getting the new anti-roll bar bushes in place. All that sort of stuff. All before we can put the new brakes back on. So I've been waiting for those new calipers to turn up. And they finally come. So we can crack on with that this week, which is really handy because the bus will be coming back soon. It's almost free of painter's jail. Been there a fair while, but there's been a lot to do, and to be fair to Tony, he's been working hard. It's needed quite a bit of flatting, quite a bit of making straight again before he can actually lay the paint down. You may have seen that on his channel. If not, then I will leave a link in the description and you can go and check that out. Anyway, so the bus will be coming back imminently, which means I need to get this Golf up and running and drivable again so that we can move it out, we can get the bus in, and I can rebuild the bus. As always, the second side is easier because you've already done it once, so this side went in a lot smoother than the passenger side. So it's just left for me to bolt the strut on at the bottom, get the hub back in, and we're ready to refit the new brake calipers. Boy, these anti-squeal shims, anti-rattle springs, whatever you want to call them, these are a pain in the backside to fit. I took a photo when I took them apart and I put them back together in the same way. They still didn't feel like they fitted in very well, so let me know in the comments if you think they should go the other way around. I thought it was worthwhile pulling the carrier off and painting it silver so it at least partly matches the caliper. So let me know what you think. As we pan up, you can see the flexies in place and we've got it hooked into the strut, but I still need to make a new hardline because the old one died when I tried to take it off, which has been pretty much par for the course with everything we've done on this car.
Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
It's time to break out the brake flaring tool. For us to make the new one. Okay, so this is the old brake pipe. It's manky, but it'll be good enough to make a pattern for the new one. So get some new brake line out. This stuff, you can bend it with your hands. It's great, it's really easy to use. We need a couple of new brake fittings. Don't want to reuse the old stuff. And then we'll put the flaring tool in the vise. This thing looks ever so confusing when you first see it. It confused me, but after you've used it a couple of times, it's pretty straightforward, and it does a pretty good job for what is essentially a cheap tool. So don't be scared of flaring your own brake lines. It's not that bad a job. So need to put the fitting on first. Don't forget to do that, otherwise you'll have to cut the brake pipe again to put the fitting on after you've flared it. Put it through the brake flaring tool. The amount it goes through is based on the particular die you're using. This is a 3/16 on the Mk1 Golf, so that's the pipe we're using. And poke it through the device, tighten up the wing nut. Pop the die in the end of the brake pipe, and the die is going to form the flare on the end of the brake pipe. So that's the thing that goes into the brake caliper or into the flexi fitting, depending on which one you're doing, and it mates up to that surface. That's what gives you the seal. That's what stops all of your brake fluid from leaking out and giving you no brakes. So nice tight seal, no leaks, thanks very much, is all good. So winding the like clamp tool out now, I guess you would call it. Not quite sure what you call that thing. Essentially, it's a bit like a two-legged puller, but everything's fixed, and that goes on the end of the die. Sorry, you can't see that too well in this picture, but you clamp it down, and that process of clamping it down with the die is what flares the end of the brake pipe. And once I've done it, I'm going to pull this thing out and show you the end of the flare, hopefully. Looks good, nice and central. Hopefully will seal correctly. Alright, so time to bleed the brakes. First things first, let's get some fluid in the reservoir because I'm pretty sure it's empty. There you go. Okay, so going to bleed the driver's side now. So what we have the spare tyre there, which is pumped up to less than 20 psi. That air line goes up into that bottle. That bottle is full of brake fluid, and that connects through to our brake reservoir with a special cap. And then, because all of that's under pressure, We have a hose that's connected onto the bleed nipple, which in turn goes down to a waste fluid reservoir. That's where the fluid's going to come out of. So I'm going to undo that, and air's going to come out, hopefully, until we just have brake fluid, no bubbles. Once we do that, we should have a hard pedal, and the brake should be bled. This is pretty much the only way I know of doing it with one person. Still getting some bubbles. Tighten it off again before you drop it down so you don't get the air sucked back in.
Low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when
Alright, so that's it for this one on the Mk1 Golf. The brakes are fixed, the suspension's now sorted. It's sat on coilovers. I probably still need to lift it up a bit more. It's a bit low. So all that's left to do is to go out and drive it, right? I reckon it's about time we tackle this rubbish roof. It's filthy, it's got holes in, all the cables are broken, it just needs replacing.